Hi, I'm Michele and welcome back to Somewhere in Bookland. So today's going to be my May book haul, and I got 6 books this month, which is a lot because I'm trying not to buy a whole bunch of books. So I might have failed there just a tad. On the plus side, I've already read 4 of these 6 books, so I think that's a little bit of a, good thing. I'm just going to get right into it, not go in the order that I bought these books, but I'm just going to hop straight in. So the first book in my haul is Always and Forever, Laura Jean. Now, I haven't read this book yet, but this is the 3rd book in the To All the Boys I Loved Before trilogy. That was supposed to be a duology, but became a trilogy. So I don't know exactly what this book is about, except that I love the first 2 books. So of course I needed to get the 3rd book, and it's a gorgeous cover, look at that. But the first book, if you were unaware, the first book, To All the Boys I Loved Before, is about this girl, Laura Jean. She writes letters to all the boys she's ever had crushes on. Whenever she's had a crush on them, she's written them a letter, and she keeps them in this hat box. And somehow they all get mailed out to her crushes, or to the person that the letter's written to, and she's dealing with the fallout of all of that. And so that storyline wraps up in the first one, and then it's a cute contemporary read, and I love it, and I'm excited to read this one. I just haven't got a chance to do it yet. Also, I posted a picture of it on my Instagram, on my Bookstagram, and it is one of my favorite Bookstagram pictures that I've ever taken. I'll include the picture right here, but seriously, one of the favorite pictures I've ever taken so far on my Bookstagram, which isn't saying a lot because my pictures aren't the best, but it's just such a photogenic cover. So the second book that I've purchased this month was actually a pre-ordered book, and it is Of Court, Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. And I already read this book, so I'll be talking about it in my wrap-up, but I really was excited about this book. I was a really big fan of the first 2 books. If you don't know, this is the 3rd book in the Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy. And the first book, which I'm sure most people know already, but just in case you don't, it's a retelling-ish of Beauty and the Beast, where there's a girl, there's a beast that is a fairy, and she gets taken away to live with him, and he has a mask, he's cursed, and it's basically a retelling of Beauty and the Beast with fairies, and not like the little Tinkerbell fairies, but just like fairies, fairies. So yeah, 3rd book is a highly anticipated book for me. I read it. I loved it. If you haven't read the series yet, I would recommend it. I recommended it to one of my friends. She read it, and then right after she was done, she started it over. And she recommended it to one of her friends who read it and loved it, so I just really enjoy this story. The next book that I bought was Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welsh, which I haven't read this one yet either. What is it with me not reading contemporaries? This book is about this girl, Lena, who is in Tuscany, not because she wants to be, but because it was her mother's dying wish for her to get to know her father, who hasn't been around basically her whole life. And then she gets this journal that was her mother's from when she lived in Italy, and she starts reading it, and along with a guy named Finn, she unearths a secret that changes her whole world. And I'm excited to read this, but I haven't yet. I haven't. The next book that I got was Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett. They say, I heard a lot of people say that this one's like You've Got Mail, which I've never seen, so I can't say if it is or isn't. But it is about this girl Bailey who's talking online with this guy Alex, who she kind of has a crush on, and they met in like a movie chat room and they talk movies all the time. And then she goes to move to California to live with her father, who happens to live in the same town as this guy Alex does, but she doesn't tell him she's moving there. When she moves to this town, she gets this job at this museum, and it's there that she meets this guy Porter, who's a security guard, and kind of becomes her arch nemesis. He just likes picking on her, and then you realize that Porter is Alex, which I know that sounds like a spoiler. I thought so too when everybody kept saying that Porter is Alex. I'm like, why did you just tell me that? No, it's on the cover. So you would think it's a spoiler, but I guess it's one of those things that they want you to know ahead of time. I don't know. But it's on the cover. Porter's Alex. But she doesn't know, and he doesn't know, and she's stuck trying to decide between Alex and Porter. Swear that's not a spoiler. The next book that I bought was Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. It has those like deckled edges or whatever they're called. And I don't like deckled edges, but I really did enjoy this book. It's such a pretty cover. This book is supposed to be like a retelling of Mulan is what I kept hearing, but it's not necessarily a retelling of Mulan. The only thing in common it really has with Mulan is a girl goes undercover as a guy. It's about this girl, Mariko. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but she has always known that her whole life was basically centered around her getting married off to someone, and she's a really smart and creative person, just like, I don't want to say a tinkerer, but she's like a inventor type person. And she has a twin brother who's slightly older than her, I believe. And her twin brother is a soldier, and at the very beginning of the book she's attacked by, well, her convoy is attacked by the Black Clan, which is a group of bandits, and they attack her with the aim to kill her, and she's supposed to be going and getting married. And so instead, since she survives, the only survivor of this attack, she goes undercover as a guy to infiltrate the Black Clan and make them pay for what they've done to her. But I will be talking about this one in my wrap-up. And the last book that I bought this month was How to Be a Boss by Lily Singh. If you don't know, Lily is a YouTuber, Superwoman II, and I never really watched her videos before reading this book, but I had seen, I don't know if it was a book review or a wrap-up where somebody talked about this book and said that they really liked it, and so I used my Audible credit to get this book, and oh my gosh, I loved this book so much that I had to buy a physical copy of it. And it's like a self-help book where she's just helping you be a boss, or basically like in control of your life, even if you don't want to be like a boss, or if you don't want to be a YouTube star. She just basically gives you tips of how to be the best you can be in your life, either at your job or your personal life or anything. And the audiobook I would recommend because it's awesome. It was funny. And then this one has pictures. The physical book has pictures and a whole bunch of different things. And then at the end of every chapter she'll give you like a homework assignment type thing that she wants you to do, and I enjoyed this book. So those were the books that I bought this month, or last month in May, and that's all I have for you today. Did you buy any books that you were really excited about in the month of May? If so, comment down below with what books you bought or what book you're excited to read soon. And if you like this video, click like. If you want to see more of this face in your feed, click subscribe. And that's all, folks. Bye. Do you like my Blink-182 shirt? Blink-182. Woo. Random.